Hey, what's going on, my hungry friends? Today I have a real treat for you. We are going to do my Smokafried wings. In our household here, when I hold different parties, such as Super Bowl or just regular get-togethers, family outings and stuff like that, I like to do my Smokafried wings. And it's real simple to do. I know everything that you see on this table looks like a lot. Trust me, it's really not a lot. We're just gonna start dumping in, tossing it around, flipping it, dipping it. It's gonna go smoked, it's gonna go fried, it's gonna be delicious. Let's make it. All right, so what's going to happen next is we are going to create our marinade for our chicken. So first things first, we're going to take our dill juice and our buttermilk. We're going to put it into one. So we're going to put about a cup and a half or so in here. It's about a cup and a half or so. Next up, we're going to put in our pickle juice. And you can find this on Amazon or maybe even your local grocery store chain might even have it. So 1.5 cups of buttermilk. We're going to put about a cup of pickle juice. We are then going to add our Killer Hogs hot sauce. And we're going to do about a third of a cup or so. I'm not eyeballing it. You know, this is backyard barbecue, right? And some hot wings. We're also going to add in some cayenne pepper. I like it spicy. Go with what you want. I added a teaspoon or so. People can go half a teaspoon. If you want it more spicier, go 2 teaspoons. Do what you like, whatever you feel comfortable. And then more importantly, we're just going to go ahead and add in their wings. Make sure they're defrosted. Slap them in there. And once we put them inside our mixture, we're going to put them in the refrigerator for about 1 hour or so. Typically, you're going to want to put them in there for about 6 to 12 hours. Okay, so let's get them all in there. Okay, all right, here's the last batch. And then this is where you get a little dirty. Let all the marinade from the buttermilk just seep into these chicken wings along with our Killer Hogs component and our pickle juice. I'm gonna tell you, the pickle juice gives it such an amazing flavor. If you don't do pickle juice, man, there's something wrong with you. You can do without it. I like to do it. Okay, so it's about level. If you take a look at the liquid, kind of push down a little bit. And now it's going to go into the refrigerator. All right, before we pull the chicken out of the refrigerator, we're going to create our dredge. Very simple technique, process, and there's just only a few different components of this. We're going to use flour, we're going to use cayenne, we're going to do some baking powder, a little bit of salt, and a little pepper. Okay, so let's get this going. And the description will be in the box below. But I'm going to do about a cup or so, cup and a half of flour. And fortunately, we have about that much left. Okay, and we're going to mirror that with baking powder, about the same amount. And what this baking powder is going to do, it's going to give it that nice crisp texture after we deep fry it. Okay, so now that we incorporated our baking powder, we're going to add some cayenne to give it a little bit of kick. I go maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon. And of course I'm not eyeballing it, but we are going to add some salt. And I'm using rock salt, so I don't want to put a lot. But most people do. They'll put a more grinded grain, they're granulated type of salt. And I'm also going to use a little bit of pepper. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get this all wired in. Okay, and now we're going to put the chicken into this dredge. So before we put these wings on the smoker, we need to dredge these wings, right? We're going to take them out of the buttermilk that we made, about 45 minutes or so that were in the refrigerator, right? You can leave it overnight. We're going to pop them in, shake off excess, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to push them down. Make sure that these stick. Okay. You're gonna shake it off and plate or a tray. And repeat. Take some out, get rid of the dredge, or the brine I should say. Push. And shake. Boom. Bam, done. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we now have to start our heat source. After we dredge our chicken, we are now gonna start the smoking process. Today, we're gonna be using our Weber Kettle Grill. And inside the Weber Kettle Grill is I have what's called a vortex. And what this does is it's gonna create a lot of heat in through the middle of this. It'll hit the top shield of the grill cover and it's gonna disperse around, creating that even heat around these wings, as you can see here in a second. But we're gonna start off with a chimney. Obviously you can All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this heat up to about 275 degrees or so. We're gonna give this about 10 minutes, 20 minutes to let this heat up. At that time, we're gonna crank down our vents to exactly where we need it to be because the wind's blowing a little bit. So with wind, you're gonna get high heat and these are gonna heat up really quick, okay? So stay tuned, a couple minutes, we're gonna check our vents. But before we're gonna do that, make sure all of our vents are open. All right, and so all we're gonna do is just put our grill grate on here. And in a miracle of time, we'll be able to put our wood on there. Today, we're gonna be using cherry wood. And what cherry wood's gonna do is gonna give it that awesome smoke flavor on these wings. So, stand by. What I'm doing is, while I'm putting it on the grill, I want the meat side in. That way we know we're gonna cook it. We want the internal temp to be right around 150 degrees or so, because after we get done putting this on this smoker, we're gonna give it a kiss inside the oil that I have prepared in the oil fryer. And again, we're only doing this just so we can get some smoke flavor on it. This ain't to fully cook it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these. Just get that smoke flavor, and again, we're only going to put it in the oil for about 2 minutes or so. But these things are delicious. All right, so about 45 minutes to an hour, 275 degrees under cherry wood. Man, these are going to be amazing. Okay, so we're all dialed in, 275 degrees. See you in a few. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make our homemade buffalo sauce. Now, I like it very, very spicy. Those who know me know that I can put down some peppers and some spice. Typically, what I would do is I would make my buffalo sauce with about 8 to 10 habaneros minced up and thrown in there, and then we would sift it later. We're not doing that today, just for the simple fact we have some taste testers here, we got our cameraman here, and we're gonna tone it down. So today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with our New Wave induction stove. Pretty neat, got it on Amazon. I think it was like $100, but you can even touch it. It doesn't even like burn your hand. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this off at medium low. Okay, we don't wanna burn this butter, but this is the first step. We're gonna take this butter out of the wrapper and we're gonna let this sizzle a little bit. We don't want it to separate, but we want this to melt down just a little bit, okay? Once this goes down a little bit, okay, we are gonna then add in our Frank's Red Hot Sauce. We're gonna give it a splash of vinegar, about half a teaspoon to about a teaspoon or so. Same thing with our Worcestershire. Damn, I can never say that. We're gonna call this the W sauce, right? W sauce, can you say that? The W sauce, right? And then to break down the acidity, we're just gonna throw in about half a teaspoon of sugar, okay? So crank this up to about medium high heat just so we can melt this down a little bit. All right, once the butter's in, it's melted down, we're gonna put in about a cup of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Maybe about a cup and a half. I'm not measuring, but that's okay. All right, we're going to give it a splash of vinegar. We're going to give it a splash of that W sauce. Right? A couple dabs of that. We're going to break down the acidity with some sugar, for about half a teaspoon. And of course, we add more heat. And it's about a teaspoon or so. Or more if you like. No one's counting, right? So, all right. We're gonna give this a nice little twirl. And right now, look at the beginning consistency. It looks like this, kind of buttery. And that's not obviously what we want. And what happens is, once all these marry together in about 10 minutes or so, it's going to create like a thick buffalo sauce. And I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so let's let that go for a couple minutes and we'll revisit. All right, so we're about 40 minutes in or so. 10 minutes later, look how they crisped up a little bit. We're going to take a few of the temps. So we're right around 140, 45 on that one. 147, obviously there's different areas where it's hotter in some areas than most. So 148, so we're about 4 more minutes off. In about 4 more minutes, we're gonna turn around and we're gonna place these in the oil fryer and spend about 2 minutes or so, let it get comfortable in there, pull it out, it's gonna be crispy, it's gonna be delicious, and we're gonna pour that buffalo hot sauce. See you in 2 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and pull these off. And we're gonna give them a kiss on the fire. Boom. All right, let's get these over to the fryer. Okay, all we're gonna do now is put this in the fryer. We just took them off the smoker. They've reached about 150, 155 degrees. Now let's kiss the oil on these bad boys, giving that nice crisp. And I'm gonna do about 10 or 12 at a time. They're all hot, so it's not gonna decrease the temperature of the oil. But take a look at this. Ready? Look at that. And we're gonna do about 10 of these. And what we're gonna do is let that go for about 2 minutes. Put our splatter on. See you in 2 minutes. Okay, so now these things have been in the fryer for about 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so. They should be creeping around 165-ish or so. We're gonna go ahead and pull them, but look at these right here. Boom. These are badass. Look at that. So we're gonna do, so we're gonna take them out. And we're getting ready for the toss. All right, so the toss, we made our buffalo sauce that we made earlier. And look at the consistency this is now. It's a lot thicker than what it was when we first started. Okay, so we're gonna take this in here and we're gonna drizzle it over our wings. And we're gonna give it a toss. It is dynamite. Do a little bit more. Coat the backside. And let me tell you, if I had smell-o-vision, you guys would be full right now. All right, one more toss. And we are gonna plate and serve, my friends. All right, look at that. Let's go ahead and get these on the grill. I mean, on the plate. Man, I can't wait to get these. They are just absolutely phenomenal. All right, so now we took these out of the fryer. We're getting ready to do some of that backyard privilege, backyard bistro stuff that I'd be talking about in all the previous videos. So let's give it a taste test on this thing. They are still a little hot. Man, look at that. You know, it's not as spicy, of course, as I would have liked, but these are fantastic. This is for any Joe Schmo that wants to go out to a typical bistro restaurant and order some wings. But I got to tell you, once you add that little smoke, give it that nice little texture of the crisp, and to add that perfect buffalo sauce, this is like a match made in heaven for an appetizer to any restaurant you go to. So I'm going to tear down the rest of these wings, but I want to tell you, try these wings. If you like this channel, if you like exactly what we did today, please hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure if it's down here or up there, but I'm also going to post this recipe in the box at the bottom, and I want you guys to have a great day. Thanks for joining us, folks, and please make these. Also, when you guys do make these, post these below. I'd like to see them. Have a great day, folks.